this the craziest week in wrestling news ever? It would be up there. This is the WrestleTalk Magazine podcast. I'm your host, Tempest, alongside our wonderful co-host, Denise Salcedo. Thank you for joining me, Denise, on this most hectic Friday. For anybody who has not checked Twitter today, Vince McMahon will be appearing on SmackDown, and that news comes following the announcement that Stephanie McMahon is taking over as the interim chairwoman and CEO of WWE as Vince McMahon steps away as these investigations go on. That being said, these reports still indicate that he will be maintaining his creative control, so it seems he will be stepping aside more in a day-to-day operations of the rest of the company as opposed to the booking of pro wrestling. But Denise, this is a big old can of worms to open. So before we get into what we think of this, make sure you get in your Ultrachats. We've already got a whole big bunch of them. I can already tell this is going to be like one of the biggest topics we've ever discussed on this show because there's so many things we could get into. We could talk for 3 hours and never run out of things. So if you want to get your thoughts in, make sure you send them in to WrestleTalk.com/support. All that are in at $5 and above will be read out before we get out before the end of the show today. So Denise, what do you make of the current situation? Just your first thoughts at face value.
My first thoughts at face value is legitimately it's too early to be talking about this at 7 a.m. when I woke up and saw the news. I woke up and I heard go check the news. So I did. And I log in and I'm reading what's going on. And I'm like, holy, this is crazy. And I'll tell you, but I'll be real with you. Like, yes, this is crazy, all of this. But this, after the news story broke with Vince McMahon and the Wall Street Journal and that whole spiel that went down, I remember having a personal conversation with a friend saying, by Money in the Bank, I would be surprised if Vince McMahon is still in a position of power. And now, right now, he is still in creative. He's still running creative, etc. But essentially, you know, the interim chairwoman is going to be Stephanie McMahon. And there are, I would still, and the way I see it is like as steps. This is like the first step. And I think with this first step alone, I think it should indicate to a lot of people that were, because there was a lot of people when the Wall Street Journal story broke that were like, oh, this isn't too serious, this and that. And I'm like, guys, you need to look at the bigger picture here. Like, this is legitimately serious. You know, there's a lot of different factors that play into this. And there were still a lot of people that were hesitant. I still think, I think that the fact that Vince McMahon at least stepped down as, chairman, like, you have to essentially see that is a big deal within itself. Now, he's still running creative. That, to me, I don't think that's going to last very long. And that's just me like being like speculative. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling it's not going to last long, especially given how fast this decision was made to essentially have Vince McMahon step down, because that tells me that there's something of some sort of like outside force basically telling Vince, like, you need to step down. Because if not, they wouldn't have done it. You know, just as of yesterday, it was the whole business is going to be, run as usual. That was reported. And then also, going into SmackDown, it seemed like that was still the plan. So now with this current news, it's basically telling you, okay, you know what? There are outside factors contributing to this now. And you're starting to see some of those repercussions. Of course, we're still, they're still in the early phases of this investigation. So it's still early. That's why we're not seeing him, come off of the creative, etc. But as this continues, I won't be surprised if Vince McMahon steps down from that as well.
I think we could see any number of different directions taken. It's way too early to know for sure what we're going to see. And I do think that we should, once again, reiterate most of these reports that have come out, just for the sake of anybody who's not caught up on any of the details. So, of course, this all kind of started when the Wall Street Journal report came out that Vince McMahon had allegedly had an affair and had paid a hush settlement to keep that from getting out, as that former employee departed the company. And there were many details in there that were very surprising, and depending on how you look at it, maybe disturbing, and depending on how open-minded you are. Because John Laurinaitis was also involved in this allegedly, and I don't I don't quite like the looks of his situation either, with a lot of things that we've seen come out since then, where it's tough to put names to things, because I've seen a lot of tweets, like David Bixenspan, I think, tweeted out a snippet of AJ Lee's book where someone from talent relations was telling her that she didn't look sexy enough, right? And the implication being that that is how talent relations was being run at the time. And again, that was the same era that John Laurinaitis was involved. Not again saying that one is the other, but these are the implications being made when these sort of things are coming out. So,
well, I don't think that's too much of like a breaking news by any means, because we've already known this.
There's
this
not
has been known for a long time. And even recently with the comments about the being more like Mandy Rose, that sort of thing. So that's not surprising whatsoever. And not surprising whatsoever.
Right. So, and just to show that this does change and the reports are constantly changing, we had a report come out earlier this morning that Vince McMahon was just going to be at SmackDown to address the talent. And that was coming out of the Observer. Dave wrote that. Dave Meltzer, of course, wrote that in the Wrestling Observer newsletter today. And that came out. And since then, we have learned that Vince McMahon will be appearing on SmackDown, opening up the show. That's basically all the information that WWE provided. In character, sure. Like, Mr. McMahon will open up SmackDown, and we'll get into why that could be taken a number of different ways. But of course, then the story becomes that Stephanie McMahon is named the interim WWE CEO and chairwoman as Vince McMahon steps aside amidst the allegations. And they released the following statement, and I will try and get through all of this. Saying that WWE and the board of directors today announced that a special committee of the board is conducting an investigation into the alleged misconduct by its chairman and CEO, Vincent McMahon, and John Laurinaitis, head of talent relations, and that effective immediately, McMahon has voluntarily stepped back from his responsibilities as CEO and chairman of the board until the conclusion of the investigation. McMahon will retain his role and responsibilities related to WWE's creative content during this period and remains committed to cooperating with the review underway. The special committee has appointed Stephanie McMahon to serve as interim CEO and interim chairwoman. And there is an interesting part of this as well that is coming up. So I will point this out. And Stephanie McMahon said, I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the committee. Oh, sorry, this is Mr. McMahon. I have pledged my complete let me take this again. I have pledged my complete cooperation to the investigation by the special committee, and I will do everything possible to support the investigation. I have also pledged to accept the findings and outcome of the investigation, whatever they are, said Mr. McMahon. I love this company and committed to working with the independent directors to strengthen our culture and our company. It is extremely important to me that we have a safe and collaborative workplace. I've committed to doing everything in my power to help the special committee complete its work, including marshaling the cooperation of the entire company to assist with completion of the investigation and to implement its findings, said Miss McMahon. That was from Stephanie. And very interestingly, it was pointed up that it is not lost on people that this statement listed her as Miss McMahon. Whether that ends up being a typo or anything ever comes of that, there were apparently eyebrows raised, were the term used back at WWE over that wording. So that's just another crazy element of this to keep in mind. And this concludes by saying WWE and its board of directors take all allegations of misconduct very seriously. The independent directors of the board engaged independent legal counsel to assist them with the independent review. In addition, the special committee and WWE will work with an independent third party to conduct a comprehensive review of the company's compliance program, HR function, and overall company and overall culture. The company and the board do not expect to have further comment until the investigation is concluded. That is the statement given by WWE on this topic and about Stephanie McMahon taking over.
There's a lot.
There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack here. And again, until we hear more from WWE or hear more from
we are tonight, kind of.
We're going to hear more, sort of. We're going to see. I have no idea what we're going to see tonight. So I guess, first of all, Denise, I'll ask, what do you think we see from Vince McMahon on SmackDown tonight?
So when I first saw this, I mean, everyone knows that this is just to, pop a rating. We all already know that. That's very, very clear. But my first thing was, this is not going to end well. To me, this is a bad idea. In character, not in character. I know he's going to be in character, but it's still a bad idea. And the reason I say that is because what can possibly said, even in character, it's going to come across as, a tacky, not tasteful whatsoever. And again, we don't know exactly what's going to be said. Is this going to be live? Is this going to be pre-taped? We don't know. If it is pre-taped, I think that would be the best case scenario, because maybe some eyes could have maybe looked over that. Fox looked over that and be like, all right, that's fine, cool, whatever. But I feel like it's not a good idea to do a live promo. It's not a good idea. Yeah. And also, I'm wondering too, like, how is the crowd going to react? For the most part, when Vince McMahon comes out, especially when it's a surprise, he tends to get this, he tends to get a favorable reaction from the crowd. The people are there. It's his company. People are like, okay, like, hey, it's Vince McMahon, etc. Unless, he does something heelish, then, obviously you'll get the boos, but that's in character. So I'm curious, like, how is that whole thing going to play out? Like, for me, this feels like this needs to be pre-taped for multiple reasons, to make sure that, like, nothing, like, terribly, this is a serious freaking issue. Like, you don't just go out there and be like, well, like, this is what's happening, like, whatever the hell he's gonna say. Like, this has to be treated, and I know that, that's how probably like a normal person, or, you and I would handle this, but it's Vince McMahon, and something tells me that it's not going to go down the way that maybe a lot of people might have expected it to go down.
Yeah, there's so many elements of this that I've been trying to formulate an opinion on before presenting this show, and I hadn't even thought about, like, the crowd reception that he's gonna get.
He can't get cheered when he comes out. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, what are we, savages? That's going to be representative of the entire wrestling fandom there. So Yuki get cheered and then he gets booed. That's terribly embarrassing. I mean, granted, again, people are going to know that he's in character, so they'll play off of that and be like, oh, well, it's okay because, I'm Vince McMahon and I'm an ass and blah, blah, blah. Like, that'll work for the in-character portion of it. But let's be real. That's very, very embarrassing.
That would not be in their best interests, I don't believe.
No.
I mean, WWE tends to lock up this award anyway, but the first thing I thought of when I saw this tweet was, well, there's the award for most disgusting promotional tactic right there, just trying to pop a rating with Vince McMahon's appearance. So my mind then immediately goes to a few different places. Immediately, I think, what is he actually going to say? And my first thought is, what if this is it? What if he's just been talking to the family all day and they've said, you know what, Vince, it's time. And he goes out there and he announces his retirement.
I don't know. Do you think it'd be that easy? He doesn't seem like a person that you're just going to sit down and be like, hey, mom, hey, dad, so-and-so, blah, blah.
So. I wouldn't have thought so at all, but I wouldn't have thought he would have stepped aside at all,
I think it would have to be like, right? I think it would have to be like Fox or NBC or sponsors or some sort of force in that nature to be like, you need to step away because, this is a serious investigation and this is messing with the company, something along those lines.
It could well be. It's, again, none of us know anything about this situation right now beyond the facts that have been reported. So this comes down to just speculation, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Something about this. Just, I didn't expect him to step down.
What's the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario? Okay, based on what we know, he's going out there on SmackDown. Again, we don't know if this is live or pre-taped. He's going to be in character. What's the best case scenario? Because I could only think of the worst case scenarios.
I think my best case scenario right now is he opens the show on like a solid background, just Vince McMahon saying basically like, this is what's happened. I've decided to step down as, acting chairman and CEO. Stephanie McMahon has taken over because this investigation. Basically, just like give the statement on TV. I think
that's
if you just
not in character, though.
I know, but that's my best case scenario. If they just treated this like, I don't know, like a normal company would. Like if a normal company had a TV show and put out a press release, you'd probably open with some sort of.
You wouldn't even see the person in question if it was anything else.
Yeah, you would probably have a spokesperson say this, but this is wrestling. This is a weird other world that we live in where Vince McMahon is a character and is apparently going to go out there amidst something like this. So it's a very strange situation for sure.
If he's in character, what if he goes out there and he starts burying everybody and he's like, these people, they want to take me down, but they couldn't in the past, they can't now. All these allegations, I will defeat them because I'm Vince McMahon. What if he does something along those lines?
It's
if he's in character,
I don't want to say that anybody.
It gives him the freedom to do that.
Freedom is a difficult term, isn't it? I mean, he can go out there and say anything. He runs the place. He can't say whatever he wants. That whatever he says will get repercussions if it doesn't go well.
That's why I said there's no winning in this situation. It looks bad either way.
I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't have put him on TV either.
No, and I know they're going to see it as, it's winning because they're going to pop a rating. Yeah, sure. And what? People are going to come back next week to see Madcap Moss versus Baron Corbin for the 100th time. Congratulations.
You're not wrong. Unfortunately,
I know I'm not wrong. I watch SmackDown every week. Yeah, I know what's going on the show. This is the best thing that's happened on the show in forever.
Best isn't the word I would use.
I know, but okay, fine. Most interesting. Let's be real, okay? I don't know how things are. Oh, wait, you're in Canada. Never mind. I keep forgetting you're not in Canada. But
I'm in Canada. I'm right here.
What? Canada. I know, I keep forgetting. Sorry. Yeah. But okay, it's kind of the thing when you're at the supermarket and you're about to check out and you see People magazine that's like, oh, so-and-so cheated on this person and now they're having a baby with their nanny. And you're like, oh, I'm above that. I don't read Hollywood gossip. And then you're like, eyeing it, trying to see what's going on. That's the situation where it's like, it's a train wreck and people can't stare away from a train wreck. People love the gossip. I love the gossip too, man. I ain't going to act high and mighty.
Oh, I'm watching SmackDown. If I wasn't being paid to watch SmackDown, I mean,
you're going to watch it either way. So was I. But there's going to be people that tune in just to see what Vince McMahon has to say. And there's going to be people that are like, nah, I'll just wait for, the news to come out.
I'm not going to say that this is not like an effective strategy to get ratings. They're going to get ratings. This SmackDown will be viewed by more people than it was viewed by last week. Whether that's like a good moral thing to do. I mean, look who we're talking about, so not, look who we're talking about. It's Vince McMahon. He's got a history. I don't know. I'm allowed to say that. This show is going to be the most bonkers episode of SmackDown. I don't know how long, million bajillion years since before Fox. I don't even know how long. Let's get into some of your Ultrachats because I'm interested in knowing what the people think about Vince McMahon because maybe I think we skew more anti-WWE in our channel and our following for sure. But there might be some WWE fans that are feeling down. So let's hear from all of them. So we kick off with the topic at hand. Of course, Charles Berg says, so yesterday I made some vulgar statements about Vince McMahon. While I stand by what I said, I'd like to apologize for my frankly mean comments. Tell Ollie no need to refund me, but I will say, I hope this scandal is what Vince is remembered for. He sucks. And Charles Berg also says, I also hate feeling angry. So once again, sorry. Let's discuss some nice things instead, like how I met a French bulldog today named Peanut Butter, and he's so freaking adorable and chunky. I don't think I've asked Denise this. What are your 3 favorite sandwiches?
Peanut butter and jelly, turkey and cheese, and anything with chicken in it.
Solid choice.
Like a grilled chicken, like a grilled chicken club. Yeah. Or is it what you call it, the grilled chicken club? Or like a bacon grilled chicken sandwich. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I'm with you. But this does pose an interesting question, not about sandwiches. If this is how Vince McMahon goes out or whatnot, if there is a sizable change in Vince McMahon's role after this moment, how big of an impact does this moment have on Vince McMahon's legacy? Does this then become his legacy? Because I think recency bias will tell you that. But at the same time, this is a man with a very noteworthy life. So there's a lot of things that will be put together that will be the legacy of Vince McMahon. And I think it will end up kind of just being like another piece added on to the sculpture of what made Vince this absolutely insane person, even if it is like a really big piece.
I don't want to sound morbid, but I don't think it would be for him personally. Yeah. I don't know how he survives this. I feel like we've seen stories in the past of like controversies that have happened to people that have tarnished their legacy. And especially if they're like older, they tend to not, handle that very well. And especially when your entire life has been work, it doesn't look very good for somebody like that.
Yeah. Only time will tell, I guess. But, man. Ben Vlarik says, it's time Vince finally got taken down. There's a long list of alleged and confirmed awful things he's done, enough to fill a season of Darkside. Once a great mind, but you can't deny he's a terrible human being. He can't keep getting away with this. And he also says, anyway, I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's departure. That sounds like something else. But the fact is, it's going to be taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that for sure. We don't know that.
I think he's doing a bit. It's the pipe bomb. It's these.
Okay. I get it. I was like, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know anything yet.
We don't know who's taking over or what, or somebody can buy the company, etc.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine? This week doesn't need any more crazy ass news stories. That would be a big
sure,
one.
Why not? And it's crazy. Like, we have this week of like so many wrestling events, and ain't nobody talking about any of those.
Nope.
We're literally like how many days away from Forbidden Door? Not very many, and nobody is really talking about it whatsoever.
I think it might also be a problem with the build for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing.
But let's just be real. Even if we knew what matches were going to be on Forbidden Door,
this is a big week.
Nobody's talking about it. Why? Because people were talking about. For what during Double or Nothing, during Double or Nothing weekend, it was all MJF. The whole week after that, it was all MJF. Then we went into Jeff Hardy, and it was all Jeff Hardy. And now it's Vince McMahon. Now it's all Vince McMahon.
It's been Banks in there too.
Huh?
We had Sasha Banks in there too.
Oh yeah, Sasha Banks. There you go. And that one kind of intertwined together with the Vince thing. But this is significantly larger. So it's like every week it's dedicated to somebody. And then prior to that, what were we talking about? Cody Rhodes.
Like we had Cody, Stephanie had stepped down before that.
And then we haven't even mentioned that either. How like the company, like essentially they kind of buried Stephanie McMahon, and now now she's this interim CEO, and it's like, damn.
Man, I don't know, dude. Like, this is a crazy time. I mean, it's good for views. Shout out to all of you watching. Give us a thumbs up. There's a lot of you watching right now. That would give us a big help. But on with the rest of the Ultrachats, because this is going to be one of our more Ultrachatted topics ever. So Hector Rodriguez, who's been a member for 6 months, says this Vince McMahon situation is just opening up how corrupt this company is. It's sad that a company I've followed since 2004 has sunk this deep. I think it's still pretty deep in 2004. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of always been fairly seedy.
And more is going to come out.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Painted Viper says Vince is still in charge of creative, shows what a complete lack of empathy to the situation. Shows a complete lack of empathy to the situation, in my opinion. With allegations like this happening in the past, the wrestlers were suspended. Definitely shows that there is a hierarchy within the company. Vince needs. Well, of course, there's a hierarchy.
For sure. Oh, for sure, for sure.
I know what he's saying though.
Yeah.
I agree that honestly, like. Either you step down or you don't. Get someone else. Like, I promise, Vince, someone else can write this show. someone else can step up and do it. Like, even if it's not done well, someone will do it. It's not done well now. So, like, what difference?
I was going to say, what are the standards here? What's the bar? Because at this point, I'll take anything.
Who cares? Like,
if they said, you know what, random Joe Schmo from off the street is going to book SmackDown today, I'd be like, you know what, you go, random Joe Schmo. Give me something different on the show that I haven't seen the past, freaking like last year. SmackDown has been the same.
You give the whole
I'm rooting
roster
for random Joe Schmo.
You give the whole roster to Joe Schmo, and he's like, ooh, yes, I really would like to see the New Day and the Brawling Brutes together. And we're like, no, enough.
I'll take anything at this point. I don't even care.
Anything new, honestly. Valid Memory Pootie has been a member for 14 months. Woo! Saying Vince got it. Vince gonna go out there and be like, what do you guys want to talk about? What a Carney use for the Carney? What a Carney to use this for ratings. He better not open with a joke.
I think he will.
Where is SmackDown tonight? I don't even know.
Minneapolis?
SmackDown's in Minneapolis.
I don't know. Double check. I'm not usually. Unless the freaking city is Los Angeles or New York. Usually, I don't really care what city it's in.
Chat, tell me what city SmackDown is in, because the tweet that WWE put out does not have the information. Of course, it doesn't. Why would you want to have that? Yeah, it's Minneapolis. Thank you, chat.
Oh, that's right. Look at me.
Yeah. So there you go.
I feel special now.
I will cross my fingers and hope for good things from Minneapolis, but we'll see. Mr. Sider says, hi, Tempest and Denise. I think Stephanie is challenging for hardest working woman in sports infotainment. Stephanie McMahon,
I mean, technically, she took a couple weeks off, so I don't know. I haven't taken any weeks off.
That's true. Also, she's the hardest working woman in sports entertainment. You're the hardest working woman in sports infotainment. There's a big difference. There is a difference, I promise.
Look, the last person I'm going to feud with is Stephanie McMahon, so I'm butting out of this one. I'm seriously intimidated.
I mean, yeah, but sadly, with Vince McMahon on television, it will be a ratings bump excuse. Mayor of Paynesville, Dan, says, hey guys, I got to weigh in on this. This is easily the biggest wrestling news of my life so far. Honestly, anything can happen here. After all, this is Vince McMahon. In his mind, he cannot be stopped. Thank you for covering this all. Much love. We don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, as always, for being yourself and just being wonderful. This is going to be such a SmackDown. And again, I woke up and this was the first thing that I saw as well. And I don't know if there's anything announced for SmackDown.
Yeah, there is actually. There's two things. Well, the main one is Riddle and Roman.
Right.
No one's talking about that, but that's happening. And then Max Dupree is set to reveal his first client in Maximum Male Models.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to do that last week, and they just said, nah, forget about it. So, really, this Vince
What should be Vince McMahon? Oh, I am now the Maximum Male Model. All right. Hey, at this point.
Can you even imagine? So
that could be the opening joke.
It doesn't appear that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. I am now part of Max Dupree's Maximum Male Models.
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him at all.
No, I mean, can you imagine that? Imagine everybody tuning in to see that, and that's the first thing that comes out of his mouth. I would turn off the channel. I would stop watching. I'd be like, that's it. I'm out. I can't take this seriously. Peace.
I'll hold you to that. Point being, I don't know if they're gonna announce anything else for this show. I don't know if they bother. At this point, if they just say, we've got them, they're going to watch the show. Who cares what else we put on it? We'll see. Not to hold your attention or anything.
Oh, are you making fun of me because I yawned?
A little bit.
Oh, I always yawn on this show. It's nothing against you.
It's okay. Believe me, I totally sympathize with you having to wake up and immediately go on this show.
Yeah, I woke up and it was the first thing. I had breakfast. I put my makeup on. I flat ironed my hair, and I came on here to do this show.
I'm glad I can be one of the first faces you see in the morning.
Well, technically.
Technically.
I only see little bits of your face.
I know. You're just like everyone else. You only get this and this.
Yep.
So Ray Slover, we got a few more Ultrachats. Like I said, this might be half the show. Again, the whole show is going to be Vince McMahon. What else are we going to talk about? This, like, again, we could talk about a bunch of different things, but this is the most pressing matter. Ray Slover says, how can they just appoint Stephanie to be the new CEO? She didn't even win a tournament. Everyone loves a tournament. Also, can the next Money in the Bank winner cash in on Stephanie to become the new CEO? Jam that jam, muted.
She didn't even do a CEO contendership match. Or contenders match, whatever they call that thing.
They missed the mark to do the climb the corporate ladder Money in the Bank match. They missed it by 2 years. This was the year to do it.
Yep.
This was the year. Entire building, and at the top is the contract to be chairman. I mean, I like the idea. Fire Batman says, I really want this to be a train wreck. There should be a price to pay for such a disgusting ratings pop. There should be, but that's not really how, I don't know, that's just not really how television works. You know,
no, like, because people are still going to tune in.
Yeah,
like, it's working. It's gonna work. Like I said, people can't turn away from, like, you know, stuff like this. It's alluring. There's a reason why all of these, like, reality TV shows are freaking thriving. Why? Because they're all drama. All of them, the Housewives, the Sister Wives, the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, 90 Day Fiance, all of those, you know, reality shows. Why do they thrive? Because there's drama. And look at us today. We got some drama.
We got a lot of drama. Holy smokes. We'll go through a few more of these while we've got them. Again, keep sending in your Ultrachats to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read them all out as long as they're above $5 US. If you have anything to say about Vince McMahon, get it off your chest here. By all means, like Scotty Bow Socks. I don't like the Bow Socks. You're on my list, Scotty. I 100% believe that Vince is coming out on SmackDown for his own vanity. This is very much in the mold of a certain former president who is close with the family. He's going out there because he wants that adoration. Whether it happens, we'll see.
I wonder who that can be. I
wonder who that could be. Oh, man. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea what this is going to be. And not to compare it to something that it's not exactly like, in my mind, if I was going to if I was told you have to put Vince McMahon on this show, I would do this in as similar a manner to like when he appeared on ECW once they'd figured out what had happened with Chris Benoit. You know, when it's just Vince and he's very serious and he says, "Good evening, I'm Vince McMahon. Here's what happened. You're not going to hear about me or this or whatever again for the rest of the show." And then bam, it's gone, and then back to SmackDown. And it's going to be weird, but I think that's the only way you can do it without having like the following 2 hours of that show get just completely lost in the sauce.
I don't know. I have a feeling, especially since they said he's going to do it in character, that it's going to be something a little bit more than that. I think I have a feeling he's going to be like, I think he's going to turn it into a them versus us sort of thing.
God, I can't
like imagine. The world against WWE. I think I have a feeling. I don't know why. That's just my best guess. I could be I'm hoping I'm wrong. Please. I hope I'm wrong. But that's just the vibe. For me, like putting 2 and 2 together, the way that this is being promoted, and then Vince like coming out in character, like, and the way that WWE is promoting it too on social media and via press release, etc. Something tells me that this is going to be the world against Vince McMahon, the world against WWE. I hope that, I mean, the best case scenario is, you know, him coming out and being like, you know what, I've decided to step down, you know, due to I don't know how he's gonna phrase it, the allegations. He can phrase it like that due to them. I don't think he's gonna say investigation because like, you know, Vince McMahon is very particular about certain words. I don't know if he would care for saying I'm being investigated. I don't know what words he's gonna use. And my daughter Stephanie is going to be, you know, blah blah blah, or who knows? Maybe they'll have Stephanie come out and do something like, "Dad, I'm taking over." I don't know. This just doesn't seem very thought out to me.
No, I don't think it is. And I want I really, really would like to be able to hear what you just say and say, "Ah, no, they never do anything like that." But at the same time, this is still the company that had put on TV Stephanie McMahon comparing the 9/11 attacks to her dad going through.
I think they took that off too. Like they clipped that part out, didn't they?
I hope so.
I think they did.
But that certainly made it to air, But
no,
so
but I'm talking about saying, like if you want to watch it in replay, yeah.
Right, yeah, right. So I'm just saying, like, this company has put crazy things to air before. I would like to believe that they would learn from moments like that, but again, look who we're talking about.
I do think like this landscape that we're in right now is a little bit different, and I think that there would be more attention brought to it if it's something like really distasteful. And I do think we're like we're just in a different time period where people react differently to things, and people are more passionate and outspoken to things that they don't like, and holding people accountable and this and that. I do think we lived in that time in this time period where people are going to be like, what the WTF is this?
Thanks for holding it in this week.
I know I did. I held it in. I couldn't come up with anything, so I was like, WTF.
You're doing great.
I held it in. Out of respect.
I feel like all the other hosts are just like, I'm going to get on this show and I'm going to try and get Denise to curse. I'm going to try and get Denise.
Oh, they don't have to try very hard. Just say hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you didn't do it.
Sorry.
I try, everyone. I'm going to continue on with some of these Ultrachats in the meantime. Because we've still got a bunch of them. Like I said, get your Ultrachats in. WrestleTalk.com/support. All that are $5 and up will be read out by the end of the show. Ten Rosa says, "Oh, Tempest thinking Vince should be subtle. Haha, bless." I got to put that energy out. I got to put the energy forth that I want in return from the universe. SmackDown will pop 3 million at the start. Fox will love it on a programming side. Tempest, don't be afraid to speak your mind. I think Kevin Dunn is gone soon. Triple H regime takeover coming. Thoughts on a sale? Wow. There is something in all of this that has been lost. Apparently, there was a rumor killer on the news about Kevin Dunn, and apparently he was not found to be insider trading, which I will be honest, because I don't want to prey upon someone's downfall in the event of like something like this, right? Like I don't want to hope for like a sexual harassment claim or lawsuit story to come out for the sake of taking down, wrestling I don't care for. No, none of that. But insider trading, however, if insider trading would get Kevin Dunn out of WWE, I will take it. I will take it in a heartbeat. That is a moral line that he can cross, and I don't feel like he's actually wronged people, so that we could get him off of this TV show. Holy smokes!
No
I don't
comment.
think that's happened, though. Unfortunately,
I'm going the no comment route.
Yeah. I don't like Kevin Dunn. But regardless, aside from the Kevin Dunn thing,
you didn't see me. I just said, yeah.
Does bring up an interesting comment, though. We have not even discussed Triple H on this show yet. Where do you, because again, it's difficult to know what to talk about in the topic of Triple H because we really don't have very many details regarding what he's been doing the last 6 months, like other than just recovering, as far as his role at WWE, it's changed a lot. And it's very clear that we don't know where the lines are at the moment.
It's dramatically changed. And I know I saw people on Twitter saying that they hope Stephanie gets Triple H to get back his old version of NXT. I know that seems like very... I don't know how far-fetched, whether or not that seems. I personally just think that I think he's still just, focusing on his recovery. Like, again, this was not something that, having to deal with what he was dealing with his pacemaker and, all of that. No, not the pacemaker. What's the name of the little machine it's not the pacemaker. It's the other one, right? Forgot what it's called.
I think it's a pacemaker.
No, there's another one. Because doesn't he have the other one besides the pacemaker?
I couldn't tell you, I'll be honest.
No, because there's two different. I know there's two of them, and I forget which he has. He has one that's like there's two different versions of it. I'm sure the chat can tell us because I'm blanking on the name right now. And I know this because I was reading up on this. Huh?
All the doctors in chat.
All the doctors in the chat, please. What?
People are saying a defibrillator.
Thank you, defibrillator. Right. That's what it is. So there's a difference between a defibrillator and a pacemaker. And I couldn't remember the defibrillator name, but I knew it wasn't the pacemaker. It was the other one. Yeah. So he still has that, in him. So, and that's something that, dude, like that's serious. Like you don't know where he's at in terms of like, he was on the verge of, passing. We read the story, we saw the interview that he did where he spoke on that. And that's something serious. And those things tend to have, long-term effects, short-term effects, etc. And so I don't know what his stress level in terms of how much he can handle is. I know that he was back in the office, but I don't think that he was taking on as much as he was prior when he was, running NXT.
Right. Not to completely change topics, but we have not really any new details, but a release from CNBC saying regarding Vince McMahon's appearance on SmackDown, he will address the controversy, but do so in character as his traditionally ruthless Mr. McMahon role, according to a person familiar with the matter who declined to be named.
I told you.
Sounds like a goddamn horrible idea.
I told you. What did I just say? I literally just sat here and reenacted what I thought Vince was going to do. And this pretty much screams that. I mean, they could change this. They could change it. They could change it.
They could.
Anything change
it. Could happen between now and 8 p.m. Eastern. But
dude, like, there's like
to fall on this answer, to say, let's have Mr. McMahon come out and do his stupid, goofy walk down to the ring and get in someone's face and do a catchphrase.
We got 8 hours. 8 hours.
I don't know who in charge came up with that answer.
Vince! Who else?
Yeah, but someone, Vince right now is supposedly not in charge. So
he's still running creative. That was his creative idea.
It's a bad one.
That's what I said, and everybody on Twitter got mad at me.
Well, I'm not getting mad at you, Denise.
Oh, you should see my timeline. It is fun in there.
Yeah. Have you been to Twitter before?
Huh?
Have you been on Twitter before?
I'm new here.
I don't know how you end up on this conclusion. I don't know how you come to the conclusion that Vince, even for a moment, even if they change the plan before SmackDown starts, I don't know how you come to the conclusion that what we need is Mr. McMahon, the character, talking about this. I don't like seeing Vince McMahon, the character, talk about like kayfabe nonsense like this in the Attitude Era. Like, we've seen the character of Vince McMahon do things where he's cheating on his wife on camera and he's making Trish bark like a dog and he's doing all these different things. And guess what? I don't want to watch those either. When it is a story and when it is characters, it's still bad. I don't want to watch a TV show where my wrestling has to be talking about this old man in an alleged sexual harassment case. A sexual harassment investigation, the proper jargon. I don't appreciate that. So
I told you.
Whoever okayed that idea, shout out to you. I hope you stub your toe today.
Because what was he gonna do? Go out there and be Vince McMahon and try to gain some sympathy from the crowd? That was the only other alternative.
I was hoping he was just
one of the main other alternatives.
I was hoping he was just gonna say goodbye. I was hoping this was just gonna be.
He could still say goodbye.
Maybe. Could be.
Everybody's bringing up how they think there's going to be another limo explosion. You know what I thought that was real? I was a kid watching that. But I was a kid, to be fair, okay? I was a kid. I didn't know any better.
I was a kid, too. Don't worry.
Okay, hold on. And you knew it was because nobody, like, you got to understand, I grew up sheltered. Nobody told me, like, hey, Denise, wrestling is fake. Nobody told me anything. They let me believe what I wanted. So I thought everything I saw on TV was real.
Yeah.
Including that. I remember afterwards going, like, I was like, someone died? What? I felt bad. I was like, shit, someone died on TV.
There it is.
Oh,
There's the
crap.
first.
Oh, damn. Whoop.
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. That's funny. Not to go off a complete tangent, but how old were you when that happened? Because
I don't know. What year was that?
that was 2007.
Okay. If I was born in 1992, how old was I there? I was like
You would've been-
14. No, 13, 12. I was very, very sheltered.
That was not math.
I'm really bad at math. That's the number one thing you should know about me. I cannot do math to save my life. If someone put a gun to my head and was like, Denise, do math, I'd be like, bro, that's it. You're done. Just end it here.
So there won't be math on Quizlemania is what you're saying.
No, I know. God, no.
I just had to make sure. Let's get into the rest of these Ultra Chats before we
Wait,
wrap
but you
up.
didn't do the math. Someone do the math.
Oh, you were born in 92?
Yeah.
When's your birthday again?
May.
May? You would have been 15.
Jesus Christ, I was dumb at 15.
You thought Vince McMahon died in a limo.
And I was 15. I blame my mother.
I thought you were going to say you were like 12.
To me, that's little. Okay, you do not get how sheltered I was. I don't know how to tell you this. Like, you do not know. Like, I was not, no, you have no idea. I was stay at home, don't go out of this house, hang out by yourself, kid. That's why I started watching wrestling.
Yeah,
That explains it all.
Should have been playing video games. You could hang out with us.
I didn't play video games.
Yeah, I know. Next time, in the next life, we'll get you on the email.
You know, now that I think about it, man, when did I start smartening up? I don't even know. Maybe it never happened. Still dumb.
For me, it was like within the first 3 weeks. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We'll get into the rest of these Ultra Chats, though. I will say this is the last call for Ultra Chats, so get them in now. We'll get through the rest of them here because we would like to get through these and get out of here at a reasonable time today. So if you have any Ultra Chats that you would like to still send in about Vince McMahon or about anything else for that matter, Sasha Banks, you want to talk about her, Forbidden Door, whatever you'd like, send them in. WrestleTalk.com/support. All their $5 and above will be read out before the end of the show. So the next one, Armageddon 94. Says, I feel like WWE and Vince will be two parts of the same legacy. No one will be able to deny WWE is a wrestling juggernaut. However, Vince's personal legacy will be one of repeated scandals and debatably an inability to adapt with the times or let go. I don't know if there's much of a debate there.
I don't think so either.
Really,
I think the only thing I was thinking about is Netflix going to do a documentary, or are they going to do like a or you know those series where it's not a documentary but it's a docu-series, there you go, where they're like acting it out instead of like giving the facts. Those are kind of good. They've started to do this a little bit more. At first I was kind of like a little bit anti it, like I wanted an actual just like documentary, but I like those docu-series now. I'm kind of interested in those. Do they still do 30 for 30s? Do they still do new ones? Because I just watched like the old ones. I don't think I've seen any of the new ones. And of course, there's Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah. See, like, I'm not like a big sports fan. Like, I'm very, very casual, but I've seen like so many of those documentaries because they're so freaking good. Like, I don't even need to know anything about them, but I'll learn when I watch the documentary.
I completely agree. I love that form of film.
You don't need to be a sports fan to like watch these and like get the gravity of it all.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I'll need to come back to this because Tariq Ali says, hey, Team Dentist, my name doesn't have a T in the middle. That's a problem. We're still back. We're now back to the Tempest thing.
Can I just call you Tempest?
I mean, you can call me whatever you'd like. I don't know why.
Fine, then in that case, I'm going to call you Bubba.
All right. I'm Bubba. That's going to my Twitter name today. I hope you know that.
Is that your Twitter name?
It's going to be
now. You
now.
always change it. I can't keep track.
Yeah, Tempest the Great Ocon Stan. It's been that for a while.
Well, now you're Tempest the Bubba. Or Bubba Tempest.
It's going to be something. I haven't decided yet, but it's going to be good.
Mr. Bubba?
Mr. Bubba.
Masked Bubba.
I'll just put you in charge of my Twitter. You can run it.
Oh, if you put me in charge of your Twitter, how many followers you got right now?
Like 8,500, I think.
Okay, if you put me in charge, you'll have 25K by the end of the week. Just kidding.
By the end of the week.
By the end of the week.
All right, I'll hold you to that one. Oh, you can make some serious money getting Twitter followers that quick.
Everyone's gonna reach out to me. Hey, Denise, how much do you charge? I'm at 3,000 right now. Can you get me to 10K? Sure, by Tuesday.
By Tuesday. Holy smokes.
Hey, I could make a living off of that. I could probably quit wrestling and just help people grow Twitter's accounts and like make tons of money.
Yeah, be a social media manager. I have a friend who does that. Yeah, it's a good job. But Tariq says, hey, Team Dentist, says, with Steph and not Nick Khan taking the reins, do you think Vince or the company assumed he leaked the story to the Wall Street Journal? He seemed heir apparent to the business, and now he has been overtaken by previously buried Steph. Love from Germany. I have no idea. This could all change by tomorrow. Like Steph had taken time off just before this, and things could have changed completely. I have no idea. Who
like, I know we were under the assumption that it was a friend of the paralegal that ended up leaking that information. There's a big part of me that my gut instinct tells me that's true. And maybe it's just me being 15-year-old naive Denise right now, but I feel that's true.
I do as well. I just look at like, well, what is the most likely scenario? And I'm just
not a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
It's not in my nature. If you tell me this is what's happening, for the most part, I'll be like, okay, unless there's some big like red flags there. I don't know. Just my gut instinct tells me that that's true. But we could be wrong. Sure. What the hell do I know? I thought a man died on TV.
This story could get a lot crazier, a lot faster if that sort of thing becomes true. But yeah, I completely agree. I think it's the most likely scenario is just that somebody close to the situation knew about it and leaked the story, and it wasn't like corporate espionage and something like that.
You think we'll ever find out who?
Probably not. I think probably not, because it's actually probably not that interesting. It's probably just some person.
Unless it is. Maybe we're wrong.
If it is and that came out, that would that's spicy.
I mean, technically all of those like drama TV shows that we watch, it's always like somebody very interesting.
Well, yeah, those are fake.
And I like to pretend life is very similar to TV because that's the only way I get my kicks out of life.
That's very sad. Denise, look at all the fun things that are behind you.
Hey, I work all day. I don't have much drama.
That's true. You are the hardest working woman I know.
I don't have like any, secret dramas out there. I hang out in front of my computer all day like a nerd. So,
yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that.
I'm gonna tomorrow. It ain't gonna come out that I have a double life and have like another family, or that I'm a secret, like, what's like a very terrible job to have that I would be judged for? Like I'm a drug dealer at night or something. It's not
at night, not during the day though. If you're a drug dealer during the day, it's okay.
Okay, well, I don't know. Do you guys know where I'm at during the day? I'm just saying that. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. What the hell are we talking about?
You're just saying you don't have time to sell drugs.
I don't have time to sell drugs.
That's all you're saying.
Now, if I had time, no, just kidding. This is a family show, and I'm anti-drugs.
I understand.
I don't need rumors now being like Denise is on drugs. Or Denise is a pusher. She's a pusher. You seen Mean Girls? She's a pusher.
I'm gonna put you in my burn book.
You're gonna leak it to the news. Denise is a pusher. She tried to sell me drugs.
Yeah, how much for a gram, Denise?
I don't even know what a gram is. I'd be a terrible drug dealer.
A gram is a unit of measurement.
I know that, but I don't know how much it is like physically. What does a gram look like? Is it a spoon? 2 spoons?
Is a gram a spoon?
You need to tell me in spoons. And is it a little spoon or a big spoon? I told you, I'm bad at any of like math, measurements, fractions.
I need a spoon of drugs. 1 gram spoon.
Tempest, come back. You're supposed to be hosting this show. Okay, fine. Describe to me how would you tell me, Denise? I need a gram. Okay. Should I give you a half a cup? What's going on?
Bro. Whoa.
A handful?
I needed that. I wasn't expecting to laugh on this show. Thanks, Denise.
You're welcome.
Educate you in the post
Just here to
show.
make people's lives better.
Make sure you check out the extras. I have something to talk about now. Jake Egan says, I hope Vince loses his position at WWE, but given how he has been able to slip out of consequences in the past, and also those brought down by Me Too seem to be able to come back, I doubt it. That is unfortunately also part of things, something like this. I don't know quite how if Vince McMahon goes, I don't think he comes back in a situation like this. Like if he might step away, but if he's like, I'm retiring, goodbye, I don't necessarily think he'll just come back a year later. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't expect that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Once it's done, it's done.
I would in a situation like this, it seems a little bit more final.
Somebody tweeted that you and I are the greatest combo on WrestleTalk TV right now, and then they put sorry Luke Owen. This is Luke has not learned the cardinal rule. Does he not know? You know the cardinal rule?
What's the cardinal rule, Denise?
Never miss a day of work or someone's going to replace you. You always show up to work, because if not, the day you don't show up, they're going to be like, you, Joe Schmo, fill in for this person. All of a sudden, Joe Schmo ends up thriving and replaces the previous person. That's why you always show up to work if you care.
Denise, I'm Joe Schmo. I made it.
You made it. Technically, Ollie should be like, that's it. We got to boot Luke Owen.
Luke's going to get buried. Sorry, Luke. Your 3-week push is over.
Well, Luke is super strict. He doesn't let me do or say anything. And he doesn't even let me be a minute late to this podcast. You allow me to at least be a minute late. Luke doesn't.
It's like a substitute
teacher. He's a dad.
Here.
He's very strict.
Hey, I am the substitute teacher of WrestleTalk. I'll take it. Painted Viper says, hi, guys. Sorry, what I was meaning was if this was a wrestler, then they'd be suspended. With Vince still having creative control, I think it shows that the company, if you're higher up, you get away with murder. Vince needs to go.
I was gonna say in that case, I think you can probably attribute another story and connect the dots there. But
well, I mean, I think we understood like what you were saying in just the sense that because I think he was the one who said like it shows that there's a hierarchy where it's like, well, yeah, I think that just kind of goes with every company. Like if you do something at the bottom, you're more likely to get fired doing something than if you're the owner of the company. I think that's just business. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like shouldn't get away with whatever, but that is the way of life. It's like
star power. The more star power you have as a talent, the more leverage you have.
Yeah, for sure. Will Campbell says, not a Vince fan, but I am a WWE fan. I get that seeing WWE in turmoil is probably making a lot of folks happy, but I'm just saying that nothing's proven yet and the investigation is still ongoing. Not saying he's innocent, just a plea for level heads. # LIW for life. I mean, that's also like still true. Like, I suppose like until all of this is released and done, like we still don't know anything. And again, most of what we've said today, aside from the reporting at the beginning and making sure that we get facts right, a lot of it is just very speculative. So just things to keep in mind. What are you giggling about?
Somebody on Twitter tweeted me that I'm the Martha Stewart of drug pushers.
Oh, Denise, I have so much to teach you. Nate S says, how would any other TV show normally write off a character? Exploding limo angle is making a comeback tonight. Lol. Won't be watching tonight. Anything other than him retiring will be gross, and even then, it'll still be a bit gross. Tempest, give Wanda a pet for me. I will, thank you. Ooh, I'll talk about this later because I would like to wrap this show up in the near future. Denise, there's a little kitty cat that's been visiting our backyard.
Uh-huh.
I love this cat. I'm gonna steal this cat. It's gonna be mine.
I don't like cats. Moving on.
All right. Mr. CJ Lilly says, hey, Denise and Tempest. I hope this could all be a watershed moment that leads to Steph and Triple H and others taking over because I don't want WWE to fail because because of this, there's so many people's lives at stake here this could be the dawn of a new WWE.
I think we can see it more as a dawn of a new WWE. I do not think the company's going to fail. They have so many good deals, good money deals, and nobody. I think there's a big misconception with and granted, I'm sure there's some people that are like, I hope WWE dies forever. But I think there's a big misconception, especially every time we see these WWE versus AEW arguments. I don't necessarily think for the majority, I don't think people want WWE to die. They just don't want them to be doing the stuff that they've been getting away with doing.
Right. I will always go back to, there was a great rant that Brian and Vinny had on the Brian and Vinny show 12 years ago about TNA. And Brian said something like, I don't know why everybody thinks that I want TNA to die. And Vinny says, I do. I want TNA to die. And Brian says, well, I want this TNA to go away forever and a good TNA to take its place. That's what I want. I want this WWE to go away forever and a good WWE to take its place. Because, again, not to go into a huge rant about what's wrong with WWE or anything, but, you can fix a lot of the problems with WWE with just a new approach. If you just change the way things look, change the way things are shot, maybe change the creative direction of the show, it becomes a totally new show. And that might seem like a lot to do, but if you have competent people, which, believe it or not, there are competent people.
There's a lot of good people that work for WWE. I don't think there's 100%. A lot of good people. I have a lot of good experiences with a lot of people in different positions, different departments and different positions and stuff.
If you have those people, I have full faith could run a competently run WWE. If they get a chance to, I think we could see something, but that's as much speculation as anything else we've said today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ten Reza says, this is why I want Rampage live to hear the live Max Caster rap after stuff like this. Tempest, you're adorable for thinking the way you do about Vince's appearance. Do you think Steph would speed up grant release requests like Sasha/Ali in her time? No idea.
I think it would be, if she could do that, I think it would be a good thing to do. Just to kind of get on the right foot, maybe with some talent. Let's say somebody comes at Mustafa Ali, for example. He says, you know what, Steph, I want my release. You know what? I would do it. I'd be like, you know what, dude? Yep. This ain't my dad. I'm going to do things, but I don't know how much real leverage power she has in this. I know she's the interim CEO, obviously, and that comes with power, but let's be real, sometimes it is not always what things seem, so you don't really know. She may still be double checking or still making sure to get the approval of her dad. I don't know, we don't know. But if you want to kind of start or at least let people think that there's a new, not just a new person in charge, but a new just a new approach, right? Mm-hmm. Then I would do it out of just good faith, but that's me, and I'm not a CEO, so
I agree. When you see it in sports and everything, if there's an interim GM, odds are that GM isn't going to be making the big decisions, right? Until they become the full-time member or full-time holder of that position. They probably won't make any huge rock the boat decisions.
Right.
I think we could see something similar here where we won't see I don't think Stephanie McMahon's going to step into this and change the way WWE is run in the next 2 months while this investigation is going on. If Vince ends up leaving the company and she becomes the full-on chairwoman, maybe then we see some major changes, but until then, I don't really see it. But at the same time, I completely agree that in a situation like this where WWE's got bad press, you want to get as much good faith back as possible. You just let a guy be happy. And you want everybody kind of loves Mustafa Ali, for example. If he wants his release, just be like, sure. And that's just a good story.
Right now, the reports are that her lawyers are working on her release. Okay, maybe make it a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, Sasha might be a little bit more complicated just because she's a big star and it's a bit more controversial. But what reason do you have to not release Mustafa Ali? He wants to go. You're not gonna use him for anything. Just let him be. Anyway. back to it as we wrap this up. Vandalia 1998 says, anybody remember back in SummerSlam, summer 2011, they aired a segment where they said Vince was no longer in charge, but he kept having power on air. Wonder if this is the same where they say he's not, but secretly he is. That is a very good point. That was a historically stupid storyline. I still like.
It would be even stupider because we know that's not the case.
Yeah, when Triple H relieved him of his power, and then like 2 months later, Vince McMahon just like played the reverse Uno card on him and was like, "No, you. Now I'm taking your power." Like, you can't do that. I don't know. Mr. CJ Lilly says this could be a great thing for the rebirth of Triple H and Steph era, and all the AEW drones rubbing their hands at WWE's demise. They might be eating their words, and again, there's too many good people and my heroes in that company for me to be glad it fails. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. There's always going to be like people on either side that are just, the people on Twitter that are going to just cheer for the failures of others and all that. But I just want a healthy, successful wrestling industry.
Keep in mind that's the only thing outside of Twitter.
Yeah, the world exists outside of Twitter. It's true. Very true. And just Donnie Chan says it's going to be genuinely interesting to see the crowd reaction. In the PG era, Vince always gets cheered. I can't see a crowd paying WWE fans boo Vince, and it's going to be awkward.
So what, they're just going to stand there and be like, wait to see what everybody else does?
Maybe.
Or maybe they'll just pipe in some sounds.
What crowd noise do you pipe in for a segment like this? Oh my God.
This is awesome chance. What if they pipe in this is awesome chance?
Wow. Imagine if they pipe in.
You deserve it chance. Okay, what else? Or no, they won't do the you. No. I have a feeling those are I don't know. I'm just messing around now.
We got a few more.
Don't take me too seriously here.
Never a problem, Denise. A few more from different topics as well. Garrett Albright sent in $20. Thank you, Garrett, saying, what an insane year 2022 has been for wrestling, and we're only halfway through it. I can't believe we may be entering the forbidden world of WWE without Vince. I wonder, though, what Vince will be like without WWE. The workaholic without work. Thoughts? I mean, I don't know him personally. I've not known him to have hobbies. Maybe he'll just keep working out.
I know he likes axe throwing and working out.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Vince McMahon liked axe throwing. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, Vince and I, every weekend, we just axe throw.
Yeah.
So we hang out on the weekends.
Love to see you go axe throwing.
I did. I'm really good at it. Did you not see my video?
I don't think I did. I'll be watching that after this.
I'm actually really good.
I'm impressed.
Well, I know. Yeah. And you should be terrified too.
Oh, God.
The video's up there. Right. I'm pretty sure you saw it.
Okay. Ten Rosa says, I never thought I would be living through such a huge time in history of this industry in regards to WWE and everything with AEW New Japan. I just know Vince will get cheers, boos, chants to his theme tonight. I can see him going off on the live mic. Wow. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we've talked about our feelings for the last hour. I feel like we've covered most of it, but Aaron Bilal says, good Lord, this must have been what it was like when Alexander Hamilton released the Reynolds pamphlet. Need the news to slow the heck down. It's only June. I vaguely understand that reference. I did not watch Hamilton, but I know vaguely what it's about. So there, I see your reference and I raise you. Taylor Cannon has been a member for 7 months and says all this wrestling news that's dropped is crazy and it's only June. My goodness, makes me worried for the rest of the year. Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, all right. So we got a few other ones. Sleek the Geek is a new member. Thank you, Sleek the Geek. Mark Graf Ludwig Wilhelm von damn it, I almost made it. Mark Graf Ludwig Wilhelm von Biden has been a member for 11 months in a row. Woo! To say, this day is just crazy. Thanks for 7 great months. It's 11 by the looks of it. Sheldon Jackson has donated $5 to say, how is the planning for Quizlemania going, Denise? How is it going?
I haven't planned anything yet.
Well,
I know that's not what you wanted to hear. Well, I have the games all in here. They're all up here. They just haven't been laid out and, created just yet, but they're up here. I have a lot of ideas and they're all just floating around here. Give me time.
You got plenty.
I'll be ready by the day of the show.
Adam puts it together the day of. You're fine. Don't
worry. But Adam's like an expert. Adam gave me like zero instruction. He was like, "Hey Denise, we can make it work. What day do you want to do it?" And I was like, June 22nd. And he was like, "Great, you're on." And that was it. He gave me no advice, no tips, nothing. Like just threw me into the deep end.
Yeah. Welcome. I hope you know how to swim. Sheldon Jackson wants to know, do you like the card so far for Forbidden Door?
Well, I think it's okay. I think it's okay so far. It's not super groundbreaking in my opinion, but it's I
completely agree, and therefore my answer is no.
Oh, okay. Well, you were a lot nicer than I was about it. I was a lot nicer than you were.
Yeah.
I said it backwards. Pardon me.
It's okay. I'll let it be. And Fire Batman says the show should be called Off the Rails with 3 grams Salcedo.
What?
3 grams with Denise Salcedo? Yo, that's the next show. I'm putting that on the list.
Watch. I'm gonna learn everything there is to learn about selling drugs, and I'm gonna be an expert. I'm just not gonna do it, but I'll know the information.
Just not gonna do it. You're gonna write a book called "If I Sold Drugs."
If I sold drugs, this is how I would do it.
It's the sequel to "If I Killed My Husband."
Oh yeah, and then that lady came out that she killed her husband, right?
I know, right? So
then it's gonna come out that I'm a secret zillionaire because I sold drugs.
And finally, we've got one left over from yesterday's AEW review, and I do just want to get it out of the way so that we can put it to bed. Ben Vlerick says, well, the Vince story does not surprise me whatsoever. Didn't he help cover up the Jimmy Snuka situation? This is far from the worst thing he's done. Important to the wrestling business, but an absolute piece of S-word human being. And then goes on to say, anyway, regardless of who might take over, if Vince were to be forced to step down, I fear WWE wouldn't be much better off. They've done enough to fill a whole season of Dark Side. Let's not pretend they're not corrupt as F, especially Vince. Passionate. I mean, I've seen Dark Side of the Ring. I saw that Jimmy Snuka bit. I don't think that bit looked like it was on the level, but that's not the topic at hand here. And with that, however, we will wrap up this edition of the Magazine Show podcast. Thank you to everybody who sent in Ultrachats. Thank you to everybody who has given us a thumbs up. Thank you to all of our moderators. Thank you to Denise Salcedo, who wakes up early on a Friday morning every week so that she can come on here and spit wrestling with us. And on this day, we had no shortage of things to talk about. So Denise, once again, where can they find you?
June 22nd, Quizzlemania. Make sure you're there.
I'll be
and
there.
Twitter and Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo and YouTube.com/Denise Salcedo.
Yeah. It's very exciting. Make sure, of course, that you're subscribed to WrestleTalk Podcast. We're going to be back with our review of this episode of SmackDown. What's going to happen? We ain't got a goddamn clue, but Pete and I are going to be talking about it tomorrow along with our review of Rampage, so make sure that you're checking that out. And I will remember to put in the end card this week because I forgot last week. So with that, we will bid you adieu.